Good evening. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to exciting live show where we'll be discussing the incredible journey of our women entrepreneurs and impact of Women Entrepreneurship Development Organization Private Limited. WEDO. WEDO is Women's Entrepreneurship Development Organization Private Limited, founded in the year 2015 to financially empower women through entrepreneurship. WEDO today has different memberships that support different stages of a woman's business, e-learning platform, and business consultations to cater to the business requirements of women entrepreneurs. WEDO has been awarded as the Business Accelerator of the Year and many other awards for its contribution in women entrepreneur space in the recent years. WEDO has its presence in six cities: Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Coimbatore, and Pune, and we are growing. For more details about the WeDo Club, please visit www.wedo.org.in/club. Hi, I'm Swpna Kulkarnii, your host this evening. I'm founder of Abhillabh Private Limited in the field of renewable energy. We are a solution specialist and promote use of green energy at large to reduce use of fossil fuels. I'm also the Mumbai Chapter President with WeDo and working president for Thane with Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Charitable Trust. Friends, today evening we have a wonderful guest. Her name is Ramniyata Kandod. She was crowned as Miss Virginia US Petit in 1996. She was placed as the second runner-up in the national finals, Miss USA Petit. Ramniyata started her career immediately after college, that's in 1989, with the Times of India as a response executive and was a part of a core team of five people and shouldered the responsibility of revamping the women's magazine Femina and taking it to an international level. After her 3 year stint with the Times of India, where she learned the fine nuances of relaunching a brand, Ramneta went to the United States of America, where she participated in the prestigious Miss Virginia USA Petit pageant held in Washington, D.C. After winning the title, she represented Virginia for the national finals at St. Louis, Missouri, where she was the second runner up. She modeled for various brands like Hawaiian Tropic, Mary Kay Cosmetics, Marika Sportswear, etc. during her reign. She attended the year-long course in physical education at the Virginia Polytechnic Institute and the State University, and now is a qualified aerobics instructor under Step Reebok. She eventually taught three different styles of aerobics, which included step aerobics, body sculpting, and aqua aerobics. She has also studied 14 years of Indian classical dance, form of Bharatanatyam, and 5 years of Kathak. While living in Raleigh, North Carolina, she enrolled in a grooming and image building program with the highly acclaimed John Casablanca's Modeling and Career Institute, where she was rated as the most outstanding student. She later trained at the same institute as a grooming mentor and image coach. After returning to India, Ramniyata acted in various music videos and television soaps like Zanjeere, Jaan, Mr. Gayab, Commando, Saboot, to name a few. Sounds familiar, right? Of course, we'll get to know more about her. She also anchored various television programs and was a master of ceremonies for corporate events for singers like Shan, Abhijit, Suresh Wadkar, Jaswinder Narula, and many more. Ramniyata has a penchant for fashion and started her own garment line under the name of Om Creative Impressions, which specializes in hand block print garments. She also traveled to the US and participated in various trade shows and exhibitions. When motherhood took precedence, she moved to the corporate world and worked as a business analyst for a Canadian firm, TWS Holdings. She, along with her husband, became the franchisee of Mars Restaurant and Amalgamated Coffee Bean and ran a franchisee of Birdies in Mumbai. When an opportunity to teach at Aptech Aviation as a language enchantment and soft skills instructor fell into her lap, she trained as well as headed the company's flagship branch for 7.5 years. She is currently a businesswoman heading her own image management venture called Best Foot Forward. And that's not all, friends. She is also a proprietor of Mura Muse, and the vision is to create awareness of the medium of hand block printing by maximizing growth opportunities of all those involved. And you know what her thought process is? She says, the Indian sari is just not a drape, it's an attitude that you carry with elan and reverence. Friends, please join me to welcome Ramniyata Kandur, co founder and Persona Transformation Director at Best Foot Forwards and proprietor, Mura Muse. Welcome, Ramniyata.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You said so much that I don't know there's anything left to say now.
Oh, there's lots more. Today I'm going to be now quiet. My saying is done now. It's only going to be you who's going to be really telling, because your journey is so wonderful, Ramita, and so inspiring. Because I think from the very young age you've been into, you in the forefront. Really representing different states, of course, and not India. That's also US that you've been representing, and it's such a commendable work that you've been doing. So, of course, our audience would like to know to begin with about your journey in your own words. So, a little more introduction
um,
about you. Yes.
well, thank you so much, first of all, for this platform, and it's like it's an incredible journey for me. And apart from that, it's like there are so many things to be grateful for, because of this journey. And like they say, when you it's like the henna leaf, when you only when you ground and ground and ground, that's when you get the actual color. That's how
True.
I would like to interpret my life, that it's been more like that. It's been more like, being ground and the color comes out, and it's ground and the color comes out, so it's been an interesting journey, like you said. I started my career at a young age. Was always very inspired by textiles, garments, anything artistic. And that is also because of my father, because my father has been in the textile industry. uh, he worked all his life in the textile industry, and he always exposed us to a lot of weavers, a lot of garments. And I have seen garments since 1989, which are like different kinds of weaves. And we are now in 2023, so you can imagine, like, for in all these years there's been a real change, and almost a metamorphosis of the way textiles have like what textiles have gone through. So what we had, like, we had a lot of handlooms earlier, we had a lot of authentic garments earlier. And now they're all you're seeing all kinds of things which look, I mean, it's like, Banarasi is made in China, and
Yeah.
things like that. So I mean, I now what I'm relating to, right? So so I've seen a big, the journey has been such that I've seen all kinds of things in terms of authenticity to where we are today.
Right.
So and when you're talking about my personal journey, like you said, you've already read out so much, and you've already said so much that I don't have much
No,
to
I'm sure
say.
there's lots more to it, Ramita, because yeah, this is only what people see. This is what only people see. Oh, success here, or winning a pageant here, or being representing this. But the effort behind it is something which you have seen the journey. You know, so that is something which our audience would really like to know, because they, it's really inspiring. Because at a very young age, when you really begin with so many things, because I'm sure it's not an easy task to, you know really get on the ramp, be there, be in front of the audience, talk, get your way out, win the title. It's not that easy way, it's as it seems. Everything has a lot of hard work behind it, and that journey is something which is only your own journey, and only you can tell us about it. So
Right.
yeah, we
So
will.
so this Virginia Petite actually started, when I was in Virginia in 1996. And they were looking for women. It was not only for unmarried women, it was for married women as well. And they were looking for people who had done some kind of work and had contributed to the state or to a particular section of society. And at that time I was I contributed in terms of helping Virginia Tech, the university, start a small department. At that time it was small, now it is like expanded quite a bit. So I helped them in starting a department where there were these mentally retarded children whose
Okay.
parents needed, because they were very young, and the parents needed counseling, and they needed a lot of support, because the mothers were very young. They were just about like 19, 20. And then,
Oh,
when you have Down syndrome baby or mentally retarded child, they it was very difficult for them to accept it, and they themselves needed a lot of counseling, because they have a long life ahead of them, and how to how they could actually help, because they needed help to help the child. So
Right.
then we started this department. So there were a lot of doctors and professors who also needed a lot of volunteers and a lot of help, and a lot of people who could come together. And so there was operations, there was funding, there was finance, there was advertising, a lot of things which had to come together, a lot of departments to set this up. And so I was part of it, and helped in starting this. And when this happened, we got an invitation for those kind of women who actually helped in any kind of basically helping society to move forward. And I got an invite from the governor's office in Virginia, and so I was one of the chosen people to attend to take part in Miss Virginia USA Petite. And so that's how I got in there. And there was a tough competition, so there were a lot of people who came from different district levels, who were highly accomplished, who had done a lot of pageants before, and I was the only one who had never done a pageant. And I didn't even know what kind of a gown to wear for the pageant, because
Yeah.
I was like really confused. And I would go to the local stores, because Virginia was not a very big, it was it was a good small state, a hilly state. But the only big city at that time was Roanoke. And I would go to a place called Roanoke to look for outfits to for the pageant and things like that. And then
Right.
ultimately somehow I gathered everything together, and the Indian community helped a lot. And I went and attended the pageant, took part in the pageant. It's the same round of what we have today, right from your question answers round to the personal round to talent round and everything. And I won the pageant. I won the title. So
Yes.
that really helped. And I was the only Indian girl. The rest of
Wow.
them were, yeah, they were all Americans.
Wow.
So, and
Lovely.
then
So,
the next step was to the national levels, and
mhm.
I was a second runner up there.
Lovely, lovely. So it's such an inspiring journey, from right from being around with people who really need that kind of counseling, the kind of help from there, being recognizing for your kind of efforts that you were really putting at and that young age, it's really something because we generally don't have that kind of maturity or that kind of responsibility amongst us, between us that we could really look at something like this, which is really indeed a very big achievement, I would say. So I think for that you really need that kind of dedication, that kind of commitment to what you're doing, and that really shows your commitment towards your work. Where people are really looking at looking at your work and they're recognizing your work, they're acknowledging it, and that's how. So it's such a wonderful thing to have. So tell us a little more about your. Then your journey with Times of India was in India, or how was it? I mean, after. So when did you come back to India? Or you were born in US, or how was it?
No, no. I was born in Gwalior, very much in India. Born in Gwalior and traveled to many places within India because my father kept getting transferred. So,
Right.
I went to Gwalior, then we were in Jamnagar, we were in Nepal, we were in Ahmedabad, Mumbai, and we've just been, traveling a lot. And eventually, so I changed many schools as well, and uh, but then the formative years, what I remember, were from Ahmedabad, because
Uh-huh.
that's when I did my seventh until 10th in Ahmedabad,
Okay.
and that's when you actually remember your friends.
True.
Before that, until sixth standard, when we were in Mumbai. Uh, until sixth standard, there's a vague memory of your friends, and I mean, it was just accepted that you had to move. Okay, now every couple of years we will be moving somewhere. But from seventh onwards, that is what I remember. And this, it was very solid. So our friendships were solid, our knowledge that we gained was solid. And you can't forget that. You can't forget that part of your life. And eventually we moved to Mumbai. And in Mumbai, I did my part of my junior college as well as my college in Mumbai. And after I finished college, I attended. I was with Times of India. So that was my first interview that I had given. I wanted to actually join the airline, uh,
Uh-huh.
but then my father said, "I'm not going to send you anywhere else. I'm going to be. I'm not going to send you away for any posting.
Right.
You have to be in Mumbai." So then I interviewed with Times of India, and it happened. And it was, though, like I said, like how, during your journey, your school days, you cannot forget a certain part. So my seventh to 10th is something that I cannot forget. So similarly, in my professional life, when I started with Times of India, those 3 years that I was with Times of India, I can never forget, because those were the formative years of my professional life. And whatever I learned is all from there, from Times of India.
Mm-hmm.
Every skill that I learned is all from the Times of India. That was, it's ingrained in my mind.
Right.
So
Right.
it's a tough place to be. At the same time, it's a wonderful creative place to be. They push you, they motivate you, they inspire you. So, and a lot of things to learn with great bosses. So and with great people. So yeah, so
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
that's
you're
how I landed in
absolutely
Times of India.
right. Absolutely right. Because I think, Ramita, it's very important that when you're starting your career, when you're starting your journey, having an open mind to learn new things is very, very important. And, I think today the generation is so I would say not very stable, because they just want everything to be very fast, and they want things to happen just the way they want. But they don't understand that to really learn something, you need to give in that kind of time, effort, that kind of learning, that kind of open mind to learn new things from your seniors, from your bosses. And I think so having the right kind of mindset to get into a team and being a team player is very, very important. I think this is a second very important, inspiring thing to take from your profile, that of course, at a very young age, your commitment towards your work is again commendable, and again your commitment to learn new things and put in that kind of hard work is again very, very important. So tell us more about your stint with as a Femina magazine, because today I think Femina is worldwide. People know about Femina, and they, I mean, when it's fashion, there are only a couple of magazines that people really talk about, and I think Femina is one of them. So, how it has been with Femina, and how did it really, your contribution towards taking it to the international level? Could you just tell us more about that?
Yes. So the thing is that like I said, while we were with Times of India, we worked in a team called, department called Response. And Response, as it is, means like, when you just respond to a query, be it anything that be it marketing, be it what, you just respond. So that is basically your response department. And so that's where we had, we were really put through the grind. We had to, it was like space selling. We had to go sell space to different magazines and different like the Times of India. And basically it was, you had to solicit ads to get into your newspaper. It was a very easy thing to do with Times of India, because Times of India at that time was number one, and then that's the reason. Even now it is, but at that time it was number one. So that's the reason it was very easy to sell Times of India. The real challenge happened when we had to sell the magazines. And Femina, of course, at that time was also a very, very popular women's magazine. But at that time, you had other magazines as well, which were equally on par with Femina. And then we had a boss who's the late Mr. Pradeep Guha, who's no more. And he was the one who picked a core team to help in revamping the magazine.
Mm-hmm.
We were not able to even imagine to what level it is going to be revamped, because the exposure was only to Indian magazines at that time. And suddenly, when we started. So there was this Femina Miss India happening. There was Filmfare Awards happening, which were happening at a certain level, and that was a great exposure that one was receiving. Suddenly, the idea was to make it an international magazine, and that's when the biggest challenge happened, because we didn't even imagine to what level it would go. And overnight, the whole thing, I mean, it took I mean, overnight, in the sense, the concept happened.
Concept, yeah.
And yeah, the concept happened, and the whole thing took a 360-degree turn, and this came out as like one international magazine. And I feel so fortunate to be part of that particular team, working so hard. We would put in like 16 to 18 hours a day. It was that kind of work. And when you see the final product, it was amazing to be part of it, because when that happened, then Miss India also started happening at a very international level.
Wow.
Until then, it was happening at a it was normal. The way things were happening was not like top notch.
Correct.
This, once the magazine was revamped to an international level, the pageant was also revamped to like an international level. And there was this 360-degree turnaround. So
Absolutely.
that's what we went through.
Correct. And what were the challenges, Ramita, in really looking at, taking this magazine to international level? So, what kind of challenges did you really face? Because I think, of course, magazine is something which people prefer, and as you rightly said, that it was one of the most famous magazines at point of time. But what kind of changes you had to really bring in, and the challenges that you really felt, it was something that was pretty uh, kind of shaking you up to do that kind of work, or rather taking it to a different level. So, what are the really difficult challenges that you faced?
So, see, I'll tell you what the challenges were. Number one, the challenge was that, you know, once the whole thing happened, the entire, glamour part of it happened,
Mm-hmm.
we came back to reality, where you had to sell the magazine. And when you
Right.
had to sell the magazine, uh, the price of that particular magazine, because of the glossy effect and that entire the look of it, jumped. The
Mhm.
price of the magazine jumped. I'm just telling you exactly what we faced on the field. And
Correct.
once that happened, it was a little difficult for us to actually go out and sell the magazine, because people who are paying a certain price for that particular amount of space in the magazine, suddenly they had to pay four times that price.
Right.
So, that was a challenge where we had to really sell. So that's where I learned my selling skills from. And
Yeah.
once that happened, the people would question us, what was the need to do this? Why do you want, there are different mindsets. So,
Absolutely.
some of them we did face these questions from the advertisers as well. So we had to, we collaborated with a lot of advertising agencies, and the advertising agencies would come forward to ask you, why did you need this? Was it
Correct.
important? Because for them, and the readership, because the readership had not increased, it was the same, for a
Right.
certain amount of time. So if the readership is the same, and the people were getting mileage out of it anyways, then why would one want to spend four times the amount for the same readership?
Right.
So that was one of the biggest challenges we faced. And then
Hmm.
the second challenge was also the content. So when
Yeah.
everything was more nationalized, suddenly we had this international segment coming in. So everything was more glamorous, more up to international standards, which did not go well with a certain section.
Understood.
So that was another challenge we faced. So there were
Right.
many small hiccups, but then I think we overcame everything, and at the end of it, it's now one of one of the best magazines in the world.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure the journey must have been really worthwhile. But I think these all things that we really face while doing it on ground, is something which are the lessons that we learn in life, and how we can really overcome those. And once we overcome, we really feel, oh my God, did I really face through it? And wow, this is where I've come forward today, learning all of those. And of course, it helps you to improve your communication, to improve your network, to your knowledge, to your sales skills, to your marketing skills. I think each and every element in the corporate world today really adds, to grooming you as a person. So tell us, Ramita, from the magazine sector, or from the I would say fashion, or fashion industry, you had come to now into getting into physical training. So you also are now, so how did that happen? To you, from a different field, you've come to a different field. So how was the transition, and what really made you choose that particular sector, getting into your physical training? So what made you really choose that kind of segment?
Okay, so I will have to just go back to this in the sense you're asking me how did the journey happen from how did I get interested from grooming and all the others into physical
Yes,
training, right?
yes,
Because I mean I
yes.
lost you in between. So
No problems. Yes. Yeah.
so the thing was that when I took part in the pageant, in the Miss Virginia Petite pageant, um, I realized that it was not only everything was not about glamour, and it was not about what you had achieved. you know when you are when you take part in a pageant, you have to be 100% into everything. You have to be a complete woman, um, and every aspect of life is important. So it is not only it's not only the looking good part of it, but feeling good, feeling fit, being healthy. And it was all those components also made a big they played a big role in this. So at that time I realized that people who came there, they were not thin or slim, they were
Hmm.
fit. And
Wow.
that's when I actually understood the concept of muscle. I understood the concept of what were like, you having a flat tummy is different vis-a-vis having abs which are like really I mean toned abs, toned muscle, yeah, like and there's so many things I learned. And women who were like so slim, fit, hardly any body fat, yet was so strong. So
Mm-hmm.
that was something which I was like so impressed. I said, oh my God, I mean, this is what I want. This is how I want to be. Not, I don't want to be thin and slim. And because I remember I also went through this phase where, like when we were getting trained that, you have to be slim, you have to be thin. So when you're learning such things, from one of the pageant groomers, you have to be thin, you have to be. And so that was bothering me a lot because I was like, how do I grow thin? I am, my bone structure is wide, but how do I become thin? I started going on a diet,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to such an extent that if you look at my pictures at that time, I was so thin. I just lost weight. I kept losing weight. And, I suddenly, from a proper diet, I went down to just having like, pani wala dal. I started having like, uh, transparent soups. I started having just, eating salads and salads all the time. And that didn't go well with me because I know, internally I was not feeling fit at all. And
Right.
once you start dieting, you don't know when to stop. And at one point, when I look at my pictures today, some of the pictures, I realized I was looking anorexic
Oh.
because people would ask you that, how come you lost so much weight? And I'm like, but then, at that time, you don't realize, you think that, oh, thin is in. So you want to
Uh-huh.
be, thin. You want to be
Yeah.
like that size zero and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I saw the women at the pageant who were like fabulously fit, That's when I realized I'm going that way. So the other
Wow.
women at the pageant were the inspiration for me to join this physical fitness program. And at that time, there was this concept called Planet Reebok, and they just started their exercise modules, and I joined that, and that's when I started learning. So aqua aerobics was something very new, and how you could actually. There was a lot of resistance, and you could build your strength through that resistance without hurting your knees and your joints, etc. So I said, okay, that is one thing I definitely want to learn. High impact and low impact was another thing that I learned. Step aerobics was something, a new concept at that time, so I learned that, and that's what I really enjoyed. And then I went to another level of fitness.
Wow, this is again so inspiring, really understand the importance of being fit, healthy, strong, and looking thin and beautiful is something, because today we really don't understand what, the concept of beauty probably is only a slim figure, you know and looking good, fair skin. I think it's really limited, but people don't understand that beauty is just not external, it has to be internal as well, in terms of your healthy body. And the strength that you're talking about, I think, yes, it comes through the physical activities that you really take up, and this has been really, really inspirational. So with your physical education in aerobics and aqua aerobics and other fields, coming to Kathak and Bharatnatyam. So how would you, how did that change happen? And little more about that journey as well from you.
So I think I just live for dance, and
Uh-huh.
I just love dance. I mean, it's just however ill I am or whatever, it's like dance. I just cannot give up. And when it came to Bharatnatyam, I was, let me tell you a secret. I was actually interested in Kathak, but
Uh-huh.
at that time, while I was growing up, there were hardly any Kathak classes in Mumbai or wherever whichever city I went to. We could never find any Kathak classes, but Bharatnatyam classes were everywhere. So,
Mm-hmm.
and being a South Indian, obviously my parents felt that I should join Bharatnatyam, and so I did join Bharatnatyam initially, and I was not very interested because I used to keep getting beatings all the time. Because with all due respect to my sir, he would every time he would make you sit. You had to sit, and I would keep standing up. You had
Uh-huh.
to actually have maintain your leg posture like this, and I would just have this. So he would keep, with a stick, he would keep hitting my toes all the time, and I was like, oh no, oh no. But then that's how we learned, and that's
Yeah.
how we maintained that perfect posture, and we got that posture. And I was waiting, but then there is this innate thing. I was stuck somewhere. Kathak was stuck somewhere in my head and in my heart. And I said, wherever I find a Kathak class, I will join. So at the age of 40,
Mm-hmm.
I found a Kathak class in Mumbai, and I wanted my daughter to desperately learn Kathak,
Uh-huh.
and she was just not interested. She said, "If you join, I will join." So
Wow.
I said, "Okay." So in this little children's class, I joined, and
Mm-hmm.
I started learning Kathak. And she eventually gave up because she was not keen on Kathak, but other dance forms. So I joined, and I continued.
Uh-huh.
And
Wow.
then I found this teacher
Mm-hmm.
who is more of a friend and a mentor. She's she's absolutely amazing, and her name is Gauri Sharma Tripathi. So and we also have Guru Padma Sharma. So learned under them, and
Uh-huh.
still learning under them.
Wow.
So it's an incredible journey, and I just implore every woman, uh, if whoever is logged in and who can listen to this, that I mean, you have to pursue one art form. It
True.
just takes your mind off, and especially if
True.
you can, because I know that everybody loves dancing. Everybody loves dancing. So
Yeah.
almost like 98% of the people love dancing, and if you can get a chance to follow one dance form, do it. It's never too late to begin. And I also
Very
gave my,
important
like I said, I gave my exam with a fracture of the fractured hand, and I got
lesson.
distinction at that time.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, so that's the kind of passion you need to have, and I think you're full of passion, Ramyata. You're full of passion and that zeal to that you want to do something in life, and you've been exploring things which has been adding value. They are just not haywire that you're today doing something else and tomorrow doing something else. But I think every aspect is really adding to your value, and no wonder today you are with your best foot forward, having this journey right from being into uh, your the first stint that you had where you were helping people, and as a volunteer you started from there, and you went to your being into a pageant, then of course being into a femina magazine, and then getting into dance forms. I mean, it's so incredible, and it's so much to learn from you, and absolutely inspiring, because I think everything is really adding value. So tell us, how would you tell how do you guide our audience, and how does these dance forms, this exercises helps your fitness as well? I mean, of course, one we look at it as it's a hobby. It's a therapy, we'll say. It's a therapy where people, we kind of that point of time, we leave everything. We're there. We are working on our bodies. We're working on the passion that we are or the dance moves we are loving. But how is it adding to your health and fitness as well?
there are two aspects to this. So one is your see, when you dance, you go to a different level, which means, like, you have your music, you have your accompaniments and everything else, so they play a big role in creating the environment for you, giving you the rhythm for you to concentrate on that particular rhythm and you dance on it. The other aspect is the posture. And having the right posture while you dance is so important, because that's where you're building. Because repeated like repeated steps that you do, you keep, that's helping you to, it's like an exercise. So it's helping you to build that particular muscle. So I mean, if your posture is wrong, then obviously you're building on that. But if your posture is correct, then you're building on that. And then that, I mean, everything is going to fall into place. And that, a bad posture will give you that you're always at a risk of injury. And
Right.
a good posture will give you not only the right fitness that you require, but it also looks really nice, elegant, and I mean, you're doing the steps correctly. um, there is also another aspect of getting into a spiritual level. It's like meditation, like you mentioned. It is like meditation, and it's like, it takes you to a different level of spirituality. And
Right.
like, since you are a healer yourself, you would understand the importance of music in
Yes.
in dance. So, and in spirituality. So everything goes hand in hand, because when you're dancing, you're not, you're surrendering yourself. You're
True.
surrendering yourself to the music, to that particular whichever dance that you're doing, whichever song that you're playing. You're just surrendering yourself to that dance form. So I think, it's very important. uh, Very often, we are in this space where you are always, you're always trying to control things.
True.
So you're trying to control your life, you're trying to control, like, a talk. You're trying to control a dialogue. Controlling your everything else, your general, the way you move about your daily life, or everything else in your power, be it
Hmm.
your finances, be it whatever, your profession. But when you surrender, it's a complete, so you get that 1 hour of just being. You're not doing anything else. That is
Yes.
you are in the present at that time. You don't think of anything. You just be. So
Correct.
that is what dance gives you, or any other art form maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, correct. So you're there. You're being in the present moment is very, very important, because I think today we are just running around maybe with worries of past or anxieties of tomorrow. I think we've forgotten to live in present. I think this is a very important way that we can look at to be in the moment, because you're there and you're trying to either perform the dance form or do it, practice it with the music. So yes, you kind of really be in the present. So it really acts like a therapy, and of course it's then working on your physical body as well. That's a very, very important message, Ramita. So tell us, how did this John Casablanca modeling and career institute happen to you? How did this come into your profile?
So, so before we went for the pageant, I was like, oh my god, I mean, what do I do? So I did have the experience of watching the Miss India, etc., and how people trained and all of that. But personal training, personal, like how to walk the ramp, talking the talk, walking the walk. That was a little, I was like, I'm in a new country, so that
Right.
really intimidated me in a way. So though I was confident in many ways, but then when you want to do something in a systematic manner, you need to be trained, you need to get the right guidance. So
Correct.
I started looking for modeling institutes, and which I couldn't find. And ultimately, I found one, in a different state, and that's when I said, okay, let me go there anyways. And I used to drive down like 2 hours, and then
Uh-huh.
and then I saw that it was actually John Casablancas, which was associated with Elite Modeling Agency, which is one of the best modeling agencies to be in. And that's
Right.
where I started training, and I learned so many fine aspects of conducting yourself. So be it body language, be it posture, be it your confidence building, be it modeling techniques, and once you learn how to walk in an elegant manner, anything that you're wearing, anything looks so beautiful automatically, vis-a-vis when you're sloppy or you're casual, and when you're actually walking in that right manner. I just learned all of it there, and it was the most amazing experience for me, which I then brought it down to Mumbai, and we started Best Foot Forward, also incorporated that.
Right.
And one thing I
Right.
must tell you,
Mm-hmm.
what I learned over there was mannequin modeling. And
Okay.
it was so interesting, mannequin modeling, where that was the first time I did it, because so once you finish your course, they give you different kinds of jobs to do, like they get you assignments, and one of the
Okay.
assignments I received was mannequin modeling. So I had to stand in a window display and just stand like
Okay.
a mannequin and not blink, nothing. And people are
Okay.
like confused whether, because they've seen a lot of these blonde hair, and the blue eyed mannequins, and then
Right.
suddenly they see a dark brown hair with dark brown eyes, and olive skinned mannequin, and they're like, is she for real, is she like a mannequin, or is she real? But then when she's not moving, and you actually hear all those comments, and
Yeah.
and you're still. And I was like, oh my god, so this is actually strength. You're building your strength, you're building your
Absolutely.
resistance. So
Absolutely. 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 Wonderful. I mean, trust me, Ramita. Till now, whatever we have spoken about, I can, see prominently one thing, that the kind of efforts that you've put to really groom yourself, or whatever things that you've taken up, be it the physical education or be it the grooming and image building programs. It's just not for the sake of it, but you've really put in your hard efforts. You've really done a remarkable work there, and that has worked so much of change in you as a person. It's really taught you so many things, and this is the kind of efforts that has gone behind the success that has seen that, oh wow, she's won the Miss Virginia Petit title. but the kind of efforts that we've taken, is really, this is what your journey is, and it's so very inspiring, really. Kudos to you and your commitment towards bringing that change inside you. And of course, now that you are bringing it, or rather, you're imparting that knowledge now to other people, where you are looking forward to groom them as well with your own company, which is Best Foot Forward. So when you came to India, Ramita, how did the acting thing happen to you?
Okay. I was like really not very, I mean, I was just like, I said, let me chill for a bit and see what happens and stuff. And then
Right.
somebody suggested, like, you just finished your, I mean, you did this pageant and stuff like that. And, there was, I got some publicity with Femina, and I got some publicity with other magazines, and they wrote about it and stuff like that. And then people were like, what kind of work have you done in India in terms of modeling? And I'm like, not really, I haven't done anything yet. The very next day, I got, a print ad called Mashrit Bank. And
Hmm.
I said, okay, fine, it's just a 2 hour job. And
Yeah.
I did that, and I got so kicked that I said, okay, so I want to do more print ads. And from
Hmm.
print it came to commercials to music videos, and music videos to ramp and all those things. And then TV serials and stuff happened. And it just so whatever auditions I went for, I never got through any of the auditions. But things just just happened. So whatever serials I worked in, etc., I got, I mean, I went for very few auditions. I used to not really, I was very lazy, and didn't go for many of the auditions because it was so far away, living in Chembur, driving all the way to Andheri and Aram Nagar, and it was like really far. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll die if I have to do this. So I used to like, just I'll see kind of a thing. But then
Hmm.
somehow it happened. And it just, I got offers and I did it. So it was an incredible experience. I mean, that acting experience, what I've had until now, I
Hmm.
met so many different people, so many
Right.
different personalities. Basically, it's like, more of personalities. Because when you're in a closed environment, you don't
Yeah.
get that much of exposure to uh, different kinds of people, their behavior patterns, etc. But when you actually meet complete strangers all the time, you
Yeah.
actually, and this gave me some lasting friendships as well.
Hmm.
So I'm so happy that I actually did this. Part of my life also happened.
Wow. Wow. Lovely. No, it's really wonderful to know, because yes, in your own country where you get that kind of exposure, and especially when you get to meet good people around who are equally contributing to your success, I think it's really important, because usually, this industry is not very looked upon. People feel that, oh, there are a lot of stuff happening, but someone really getting that kind of boost, that kind of motivation to do things, and making a mark, I think is really very important. I think, of course, who does not like to be seen or getting the kind of work to be done. So it's really, really wonderful. So coming from there, I think you then got into your own uh, garment thing as well. So could you tell us a little more about your own creative impression that you started with the hand block printed garments?
So, Own creative impressions happened because I was very interested in block printing, number one.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so while you were acting, so,
Hmm.
there was a lot of free time as well. So you would be busy for a certain amount of time with very busy schedules, no time to even eat, breathe, that kind of schedule. Then there would be a period, once, the shooting is done, then till the next project happens, you're again, there is a lull. But I'm the kind of person, I could never sit in one place. Like, I mean, I need to do something constantly. So
Correct.
I said, okay, let me just go look at Spastic Society of India, which is very close to my home. So I went there, and I realized, when I met a few people there, and I realized that they needed help.
Mm-hmm.
Um uh, it was amazing to meet those kind of people. Uh, Especially at this Passive Society of India, they. um it was a period of learning for me. I wanted to be there more and understand the way they worked. There were a lot of people who were deaf and mute, and they
Uh-huh.
still were skillful. They were learning a lot,
Wow.
and they would crack their own jokes. They would be happy, and I wanted to be with them,
Mm-hmm.
to understand their happiness and
Right.
feel their happiness, share with them. And when
Mm-hmm.
that was happening, there was this course which was launched in block printing,
Okay.
and it was launched for them actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I also enroll in this because I want to learn how they did block printing, etc. And
Right.
I it was amazing because then you're not talking at that time, but you're with sign language you're actually communicating with
Yes.
them. And I learned block printing at that time.
Wow.
That interested me so much in like how do I get the block prints to everybody else. So that's when I started making shirts and making salwar kameezes, t-shirts, dupattas, and bags, many other things like that. And at the
Mm-hmm.
end of it, I said, okay, now I made so much, now let me hold an exhibition. And that's when I held my first exhibition, and then it kept happening. Own
Wow.
creative impressions happened, and
Wow.
held a lot of exhibitions. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but then, when motherhood took precedence, I could not do block printing anymore, and
Uh-huh.
that's when I had to stop.
I understand, of course, because I think your priorities change with life, and that's
Yeah.
when what you've been doing. You need to really take a step back, probably at times, and then maybe give it a little more time and then bounce back, which I think you're again already doing it. But let us little more learn about your journey with birdies, because birdies at time has been like the talk of the town, and people. I personally used to love those cakes and those bakeries from birdies. So how did this thing happen to you?
So, we had this shop which was lying, vacant, and we were like, let's do something about it. So we went to this Mars restaurants at that time, and they had something called Cake Khazana, and
Uh-huh.
Cake Khazana was also really nice. They had different kinds of cakes and stuff like that. So we
Yeah.
kept a counter of cakes in that shop, and we built a mezzanine, and we made
Mhm.
it a coffee shop as well. So it did really well, but at that time, within a few months, the brand closed down. The brand completely
Oh,
closed down everywhere. It was
yeah.
withdrawn. So
It was withdrawn. Hmm.
so they came with another offer of doing birdies. They said if you want, you can do birdies, and but the only thing is that you have to revamp the entire interiors of the store
Hmm.
according to Birdie's brand. So we said, okay, fine. We thought about it. We said, why not? And why give up cakes? Everybody loves us. We all have a sweet
Yes,
tooth, and everybody loves.
absolutely.
So that's when we started Birdies, and that continued.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. So, are you still doing that, or
No, no, no. Now it's
yeah?
not Birdies. Yeah, we don't have it anymore.
Wow, wow. So I think that's when your corporate journey began, when your journey with the Canadian firm TWS Holdings started, and then the Aptech Aviation happened. So I think Aptech Aviation is also in line with what you were already doing in terms of your physical training that you already took, and I think this one was into soft skills in training, right? So I think again it was a mix with your career line, is what I understand. So how did this go? I think you really spent a good amount of years with Aptic. So how did this happen to you?
So, once I was ready to join back, get back into the corporate world when my daughter was a little, she'd grown up a bit and stuff. So then I realized that I know I should look for something which would interest me. So
Hmm.
it is not about, what you can, it's not about like going to an office, doing your job. It was
Yeah.
about contributing. And so I was thinking about like where and how would I contribute, and yet you're making your money as well, but how do how do I contribute? And what hit a chord was when I was interacting with a lot of people around, and I just realized that there was a very urgent need
Mm-hmm.
to be able to communicate well.
Uh-huh.
And people had the potential, but it was just that it was just buried, and they
Mm-hmm.
had to come out. So then I was like, how do I do this? And that's when this trainer position, I mean, I don't know how, probably like, even without knowing the rules of manifesting at that time, I
Uh-huh.
would just keep manifesting. And so suddenly this thing fell into my lap, a trainer's position at Aptic Aviation, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. And so that's when I realized, I was like, people are getting into aviation. So we were training people who were going to be flight attendants, ground staff, pilots. We were training everyone
Right.
in communication, in soft skills, and many other modules, and
Mm-hmm.
one in safety, in service. So I took up the entire soft skills program,
Mm-hmm.
and I started teaching that, and that helped me, I mean, transform a lot of people. So
Right.
that was hitting my goal in the right direction.
Wow. So I think, and post that, I think your true journey as an entrepreneur really started, or as a businesswoman really started when your management firm Best Foot Forward came into existence, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So can you just tell us a little more about what exactly is Best Foot Forward, and how are you really helping people with your?
Yeah. So basically, Best Foot Forward was a baby which we founded, in fact, uh, keeping in mind that we needed to again, help people transform, help people grow in their journeys, because everybody, there were people who had hard skills, but soft skills was something that are you there? I can't hear you.
Sorry, some technical glitch. Sorry. Please
Oh, okay,
continue.
okay. No problem, no
Yeah.
problem. So, so basically, what happened was, like I was just saying, that we realized that in the market, as you were meeting a lot of clients and a lot of different kinds of companies, we realized that people have all the required hard skills, but soft skills was something which was lacking, in the way they were. Even a small thing like making a small presentation, even a small handshake, even making your first impression, everything put together. And that's when a friend of mine and me, we decided that okay, let's get into this, where we put all the modules together, which would include your soft skills, which would include your grooming, your persona enhancement, and customer service, your sales training, and every different verticals. Let's get that together, and make a complete package of corporate training. And so that's when the baby was born, Best Foot Forward. And so we actually collaborated with a lot of trainers from different walks of life, and we all came together and built this Best Foot Forward. And each one of us has a role to play. So I take care of the entire persona enhancement. So we have different SMEs, and we have people from the insurance industry. We have people from with sales background, financiers. We have customer service experts. Everything put together. So that's how we came together, and this happened sometime in 2013.
Wow. Okay,
That's
so
when we
it's
started.
already a skill now that you're already into the grooming sector, and I think a very important sector to have today, because as rightly said, of course, we learn languages, we learn work, but how it has to be, how do we portray ourselves, or how do we present ourselves, is really really important, because I think it's said that your first impression is the last impression, and you need you yeah, so that's the time you get to really make your mark, or create your identity. And I think you're doing a wonderful job there. Yes, you had to say something on it. Please go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say this, that um, there are two things, while communicating, there are two things that you need to keep in mind, and that is what we noticed, that would people had all the knowledge, but they would not be able to express themselves. So
Hmm.
that's where we came in and we said we have to pull that expression out of them. We had to teach them right diction, and we needed to let them understand the concept of selecting the keywords to express. So
Right.
that's the whole thing of communication. And the second part of it was speaking sensibly and with sensitivity.
Right. Very important.
Yeah. So that is what
Very,
I
very
just wanted to say,
important.
that that's also what was very, very important. That was a very important thought behind Best Foot Forward.
Wonderful, wonderful work that you're doing, Ramyata. I think, and this has come through the experience that you've really gained right from your young age, whatever you have seen through, gone through, represented yourself. I think learned a lot in this journey. I think today you're really imparting that knowledge to others and really making them, ready. I would say for the life challenges, which is a very important work that you're doing, and really appreciate your hard work and your journey, Ramyata. Of course, we know your love for hand block prints, and I think that's when even Mura Muse also came into existence. So our
Yeah.
audience are really looking forward to know what exactly is Mura Muse and how did this happen, and a little story behind your Mura Muse, and what exactly are you doing in that. So if you could just tell us more about that.
So, like I said, when we had done this block printing, and my heart was stuck with block prints. And when COVID happened, there was this somebody from the NGO who mentioned to me that there are a lot of workers who were, and especially during the migrant crisis, they were going back to their cities. And she said that, and in a very simple conversation, she just mentioned that, um, the cream is leaving.
Hmm.
And she used this, she said, ये सब block printing की जो मलाई है ना सब जा रहे हैं, is what she said. And I couldn't understand I was trying to um, try and understand the entire uh, what she meant by that. And within the next 2 days she told me that, everybody's leaving the city and we will not have any block printers left. What do we do? And I said, okay, fine then. She said, can you help? I said, not with money, because what's the point in giving them money? They're not
Yeah,
going to do anything with that. It's just going to
correct.
help them like for a few days. So then I said, okay, let's help them with work. And that's when it was just a brainwave. And then we decided to start Mura Muse. So me and
Hmm.
a friend of mine who was also very passionate about saris, we started Mura Muse. And also, Mura, because Mura also means beauty in imperfection. So
Wow.
it's Mura is a Japanese word. And so when we decided, let's go with Mura. And muse is like, we are, when you have a muse, when you're focused and you're crazy about something. So Mura Muse happened.
Wow.
And this is all hand block prints. Started with saris, and that too specially Kasavu saris from Kerala, because normally nobody does block prints. They do a lot of embroidery on Kasavu saris. So we said, okay, let's do block prints on Kerala saris. And we started from there, and then we moved up, and then we started using different kinds of fabrics from different states of India. From the east, we used from the west, we used from from Madhya Pradesh and many other places, and we started printing on them. Uh, Mura, basically, we do our own blocks. So we have our own blocks, which we get them made, we get the design made, and then we get them printed.
Oh,
So
wow.
that is our USP.
Hmm.
And we now diversified into not only saris but also home furnishings. We do bags, we do dupattas, we do ready mades, we're doing everything now. Anything connected to block prints.
Oh, lovely. That's so interesting. That's so beautiful. And of course, I've seen you in your saris, and they're really beautiful. And of course,
This is
sari.
also one of those.
Oh wow,
I'm
lovely.
wearing,
Lovely, lovely. And I think sari is every Indian woman's, I think, love, I would say. And you're really doing, yeah. So that's really wonderful. So tell us, Ramita, what is it that you really love about this journey, the entire journey that you've been had so far? Or what is it that you really love about your journey?
so, if you talk from the time I was awake, awake, in terms of, being aware, uh, right from, like I said, from my school days, where I actually started absorbing more information. The whole process has been, it's like, the peel of an onion, when you're actually peeling your onion, and then
Yeah.
you're peeling layer by layer by layer. So this, my learning process has been the most incredible part of my journey in every way. And whatever I did until now has been done with a lot of sincerity, with a lot of passion, and with 100% dedication and commitment. So when I look back, I don't regret things. I'm like,
Right.
okay, I did it because I wanted to do it. I did it with passion, and I did it with, a lot of honesty. So that really, is like one of the biggest learnings. Also meeting, and getting to meet incredible people, getting to, like, for example, my guruji, and the spiritual knowledge that one gets from him, and all of that. So the whole, it's been a complete package deal for me, I feel. And
Absolutely.
there are so many things to be grateful for in life. You know I'm
Yes.
really utterly grateful.
Beautifully said. Of course, loving what you want to do and doing it because you want to do it. It's the beauty of the journey, because today a lot of us really don't understand that where are we really going, or where are we really landing, or what we really want to do. But going the journey that you're really loving, or maybe you're getting into a journey, but you start loving the journey and then pursuing it forward. I think with complete commitment, and all I could understand from your profile is, you're completely committed, hardworking, open to learn, always willing to learn, and putting and getting the best for you. I think is very important, because we all need to understand that whatever we are doing, what best can we get from it. Hardships can be a part of the journey, but what is it that you can really look at it, and how possibly you can imbibe it in your life, learn from it, and grow yourself. I think that is, you're a perfect example of, all of this that we've been really talking today, Ramita. Really wonderful, about journey you've had. So, can you tell us a little more about your challenges in this journey that you really faced? Maybe those tough moments where you felt that, oh, you just wanted to give up, but you still, thought that no, maybe I need to give one more try to do things. So, any such situations that you have come across in terms of challenges?
Many situations like that. So the thing is that, see, I mean, life is not only about, all the rosy things that we have discussed, in terms of, that I love doing this and I love doing that, and things have happened, and all those things. Yes, they have happened the way they did. But there's, you have your personal life, you have your professional life, you have like so many other day to day things that you have to, which are part of your life, which you have to face.
Right.
And so there are many many hurdles that I've faced, like, I mean, in terms of, family falling ill, and major illnesses which, continue till date, where care is required, and things like that. So there's another aspect where, so these kind of things can slow you down.
Yeah.
They can create a huge gap for you.
Right.
So,
Right.
because that, there's a certain family member who needs care, and you need to be there for that person. And
True.
so that, takes away a lot of time from your life.
Yeah.
because you have to be there. And then you have to set your priorities. So okay, so if you're moving like a cyclone in your in your particular career, and then suddenly you realize that no, at this point it is not this, this is not what you need to give your time to. The priority has to be shifted. And so that's when you shift your priority, that's when there's a huge time gap, and that time is gone, that time is lost. So
True.
those kind of challenges I have faced a lot.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Right. But I think, as you rightly said, keeping ourselves going in the journey is very, very important, because challenges, of course, will come, and how you overcome them is, I think,
Yeah.
is what makes your life journey. So, Ramita, today we all are connected to this wonderful platform of WEDO, where we call ourselves proud Vedoans, and it's an entrepreneurship development organization that we're there. So tell us, how is this platform been instrumental in your journey so far?
So when I joined WeDo, so I got to know about WeDo from a friend, and she's not part of WeDo, but she was like, I heard a lot about WeDo, because we were looking at. I was thinking, like, which is a very good platform to join, and she said, yeah, are you part of WeDo? And I'm like, no. She said, try it. Because I did join a couple of platforms where I was not, uh, I didn't gel with the whole concept. I mean, the concept didn't gel with me. So I didn't enroll there. But then when she told me, like, did you try WeDo? And I'm like, no. She said, you must. And I was like, oh my God, what am I missing? And so that's when I joined WeDo. And the moment I joined, I read about WeDo, and then I joined WeDo. And the moment I did, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, first thing I felt that there were so many people who came forward to help, including you know, and came forward to help. Like, okay, it's like, when you're stuck in a rut or you're stuck somewhere, there's somebody who comes to pull you up. That's
Right,
we do. And they
right,
actually, they are there for you, with, be it Kadambari, Manju, you. And I mean, especially the Mumbai chapter that we are part of. And
yeah,
it was amazing, because I just felt that it was an immediate, it was not hand holding. They just extended their hand, and I think we grabbed the arm, and we came up. The learning was all, everything is so relevant.
yeah,
And what I really found was that this is not networking of businesses. This is like a family network. You're actually, you're just expanding your family. This is more human, it is
yeah,
more sensitive, and it is more very, very sincere, because it's the efforts are very sincere. It's not something that one is buying. You're not buying anything here. You're only helping. So it is, it is helping you improve as a person. It's helping you extend as a person. It is, making all the women who are connected understand their aspects, the different aspects of their personalities, and business wise also helping each other out. Because you're recommending, okay, I don't have this product, but I know someone who has this product. And then
correct.
in this family itself, we know whom we can put the person on to. The sessions that we have, the learning sessions that we have, are so amazing, because when you enter that, that session, you're just emptying your brains completely, and you're putting in
Right.
new information, which is all important, relevant information, which is actually giving you a great push. And to me personally, I have got, I mean it, not because I'm on this platform, but I mean it. Even if I wasn't on this platform, I would say this, that I've experienced in these 3 months that I've been here. I've experienced something very, very, very important and very crucial to my business and to the relationships that I have made here.
Right.
So I think there should be more and more people joining this platform, so that
Definitely.
I mean, because you're helping each other out. There are some people who have the business, but you don't have the right you don't have the right set of like you don't have the skills, you don't have the extensions. Like, where do I market my product? And that's
Yes.
we do for you. We do is where, I mean, I think it's my go-to place.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very rightly said, We do, of course, is a platform where we come together, be together as a family, and yeah, everyone is ready to help each other. That's a wonderful part of We Do. Our mentors, Kadambari, she is so approachable at any point of time, and she has a very unbiased approach towards things. She will not say that, oh, because I like her, I will talk good about her, or because I like. No, she has a very unbiased approach towards everything, and she's always willing to help, give more than what she really should be giving. Like imparting knowledge, giving the training sessions. I mean, it's a lot of job. It's a hell lot of work to even create those modules and give it to people who are, so she's really taking care of us all as like a family member who actually belong to her. So it's a I think it's a moment of gratitude towards Kadambari and all you lovely people. My Mumbai chapter is happening, and I really love my Mumbai chapter.
Yes.
All of us are really super happening. Always willing to help, always willing to be there, always there for each other. We have each other's back at any given point of time. I think that's very, very important today, and I think Vidu has made this happen. So a big thank you to Vidu, and of course a big thank you to you, Ramyata, for giving so much of your time and
Thank
for
you.
telling us about your journey. It's an incredible journey, lots to learn from. Audiences, if you really want to learn from her journey, is of course consistency and commitment, hard work, loving what you want to do, doing what you should be doing, and of course, open to learning. It's very, very important. I mean, in every aspect, she's gone through so many things, she's learned so many things, and today she is where she is. I mean, just think about putting yourself into her shoes and going the kind of hardships, because we all can see just the success, but remember the diagram which always comes. A success is just this much what you see above the water, but below the water it's so deep that you don't even know how it is. Important is to keep going, keep learning, and of course giving your best. So Ramita, before we sign up today, any important message you would want to give our audiences?
Yeah, I just want to say, make every moment count. And this I'm picking up from a lot of great people who have, said this innumerable number of times. But after understanding awareness, what awareness and living in the present actually means, I'm vouching for this and I'm pushing this down people's throats. Make every moment count. Because, you never know, with things happening which are totally unpredictable in the world, anything can happen at any time. So you need to make the best of your life. You need to make the best of what you have. And you need to, make every moment valuable.
Right.
One life to live, and just make it valuable. So make every moment count.
Lovely message, Ramita. Lovely message. So, audience, with this strong message coming from Ranyata, we take your leave for today, and we'll meet you again tomorrow with yet another incredible woman entrepreneur. Stay tuned, do join us, and do visit our page www.vedu.org.in/club. Get to know more about our club, and of course, we will look forward for you to join. Anyone wants to connect with Raminita, her contact information is mentioned here. You can connect with her on her Insta handle, Mura_Muse, or you can even Google Best Foot Forward and you will find her connections. So do contact with her as well for any of your needs in terms of image building, training. She is there to help you out. And of course, your love for saris with hand block printing saris. She's your go-to person. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Ramita, for giving so much of your time. It was lovely talking to you. A lot of inspirational talks we had and wonderful journey. Keep up all the best for your future journey as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you were such a wonderful interviewer. I mean, it was almost like having a nice chat
Yes.
over coffee. Of course, I didn't have coffee here, but it was like, it was
Yes.
having a wonderful chat with you. And
Right.
everything was so seamless. So
Yeah.
I really, enjoyed having this chat with you. And I think we should meet more often in person. Thank you
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good night. Yeah. Good night,
Good night.
audience. Good night.